Welcome back to the only thing that makes a Monday morning bearable.
Hello, loyal subjects.
Do I count as one of those?
Do you want to?
Yes. I think yes.
Good.
I think I do. So I'm one of you. So this is going to be so rough. Oh my gosh.
It better not be, because this is going to be a good episode for me.
I know.
How are you doing? That's usually the next thing we say. How are you doing, Maddie?
So how are we doing, Rach? We doing good?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Good day?
I'm doing well. I'm excited for this episode.
I'm excited to see what you have for us.
It's a good one.
I just feel like every episode you do is good, so I'm really ready for this one.
Good is an understatement. But
I guess that's true.
yeah. This is the best podcast known to man.
And woman.
Yes. And animal and
Species.
and all universes. And yes, that is a direct challenge on every other podcast out there. I'm making big statements and I'm not holding back.
Big statements today.
Yep.
Big claims. Mm-hmm. Bold claims.
Yes, that's what I do.
But we love it.
Yeah. And, unfortunately, even though we are the best podcast in the world, in all of the universes, in, multiverse theory, whatever, in all of existence, I still have to, do our listeners. I was going to say favorite segment. I'm going to, do everyone's least favorite segment.
That's fair.
Which is 8-second apologies, because I have a few things from your episode that need to be apologized for.
Oof, I'm sure. Lay it on me.
First of all, I sincerely apologize for Maddie almost getting us sued by playing that music in the beginning and therefore ending the show forever and ever, in perpetuity, forever and ever.
Yeah, that's my beef.
Yeah. I would also sincerely like to apologize for Maddie's Russian and all of her pronunciations, as well as the gruesome autopsy photos.
Yeah, those were
that
bad.
Were posted.
Those were bad.
I hit my mic to tap on my forehead where the gunshot was.
I mean, we do what we must.
Yep.
But yeah, I do. Those were bad. Those were intense. I mean, he was shot 3 times.
Thrice.
It wasn't thrice in the body. It wasn't pretty.
Where else would someone be shot?
I was going to say thrice shot in the head, but it wasn't 3 times in the head. So I had to alter my statement to be factual.
He was shot thrice in the corpus.
In the said corpus.
Yes, in the said corpus. Now, I think we're going to let it go. We're going to leave it in the past.
Yeah.
And we're just going to go for it.
It is in the past. That's
true.
We're going to leave it there.
We're
not going to bring it back.
Let's do it.
So, Rach, now that we've apologized for my episode, I am ready to hear what you have for us this episode so that I can apologize for her next week. But what do you have? Tell us what you have.
Why would you say that to me?
I was saying
you're not going to have to apologize for anything.
I was saying it to them.
Okay, fine. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story.
Yes, I love story time.
Yes. Okay.
Is it a happy story?
I don't know how to answer that.
Uh-oh. This is going to be interesting, guys. Uh-oh.
It's not a happy story.
This scares me,
but
let's proceed.
Not a happy story.
Let's proceed.
Okay, so let's kind of proceed, but really we're going backwards.
Oh.
March 18th, 1944. The Winter War between Finland and the Soviet Union had concluded 4 years prior.
Okay.
With Finland forced to sign a treaty that granted the Soviet Union more than 10% of Finnish territory.
Right.
Disclaimer, I'm not a historian, and I'm definitely not a war historian, so...
That makes so much sense. That's so fair.
So fair. Yes. But yeah, just disclaimer that this is not my area of expertise, this little part here. And then we have Operation Barbarossa. It's Barbarossa, right?
Barbarossa.
Barbarossa. Yes, Barbarossa.
We have one more syllable in there.
Barbarossa. I had it in a couple different things. I have it in German too, and I just skimmed over the German because I'm not going to try that.
It happens.
Anyway, with Operation Barbarossa, we have the German invasion of the Soviet Union. And then after that, in 1941, Finland and Nazi Germany allied unofficially to fight against their common enemy, the Soviet Union. The Soviet Union. So by 1944, Russia was doing very well against them. and they were attempting to seize even more land from Finland.
As one does. As one does.
Indeed. So let's set the scene a little bit here.
Okay.
You're in the wilderness with the boys.
With the boys.
Yes. In the wilderness.
Or the girls.
No.
I guess it was genuinely just
the boys.
The boys.
I understand you trying to make this podcast inclusive. It doesn't always work. Sometimes.
We can't force inclusivity.
Sometimes that is
that the right
inclusivity,
word?
yes. Sometimes that is revisionist history.
And we hate that. That's like 10 thumbs down.
Did you just 10 thumbs down yourself?
I
think you did. Okay.
I'm reprimanding myself. I don't know why that was so hard to say. As someone who studied history, that was bad on my part. And I sincerely apologize. So anyways, the boys are in the woods.
The boys, yeah. Okay, that was a lot.
I'm really ashamed of myself, guys.
Yes, so you're in the wilderness with the boys. It is freezing cold. It's 5 degrees Fahrenheit.
No.
Maddie's facial expression is correct.
Hate that.
She's not happy.
Hate that.
You've been on the move for days. Days.
Also hate that.
There's like 2 feet of snow.
Yeah, I hate that too.
You're exhausted. So you set up camp for some rest and some food. Finally.
As one does. This is exciting.
Yeah. I mean, it's a short break, but it's much needed. It's much needed. But guess what the Russians were not doing?
Resting?
Correct. They were not resting. They were not. So the Soviets start coming up behind them. Not really behind them. They're going.
Just around them.
They're just there. They just materialize out of thin air. Yeah, all of a sudden they're just there. But yeah, they start shooting at the Finnish soldiers before they even really get to rest at all.
That sucks.
So this is maybe not a happy story.
I'm going with so far not happy.
So far not.
Maybe there's a silver lining.
Well, this is the story of 27-year-old Finnish soldier Aimo Koivunen.
Aimo Koivunen. I've never heard of this man.
Well, I've also heard it pronounced about 30 different ways, so maybe you've heard it in a different pronunciation, but maybe not.
By the end of the story, maybe I don't know. I don't know who he is now. So
he doesn't know who you are either.
That is very true. No one knows who I am. I am a mystery.
You're a mystery?
Yeah. No one
How?
knows. No one knows.
I wouldn't necessarily say that you're a particularly mysterious person.
No.
But we can work on that.
But I'm a mystery.
How much of a difference is there between those two things?
One's an adjective.
Well,
one's a noun. Very different.
Yeah, I understand that, but I don't think the implications are that different. You're going to give me a grammar lesson?
We're going to have to agree to disagree here. And tell me about Aimo.
Okay.
I love when I throw you off and then I'm like, Aimo. Like, come on, Rachel. Why are you not focused? Meanwhile, I'm over here doing God knows what. So Aimo.
So anyway, so as the Soviets are approaching, the Finnish soldiers are trying to fire back, and they're trying to set up some mines on their way out, but unfortunately the Russians vastly outnumber the Finnish soldiers, so they are forced to retreat. And they are also rested and prepared, unlike the Finnish group.
Right.
So they said, yeet, and they clear out because their only option was escape, or pretty much certain death.
Yeet.
That was the... Yeet.
I did hold the Y.
It sounds like you're uncomfortable saying that word.
Yeet. I think I am uncomfortable saying that word.
I think you're like 87 in the body of a 22-year-old.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes, we've kind of covered that already.
That's been established several times.
Yeah. All right. Oof. Yikes. So now Aimo takes the lead of the group. He's like the one setting the pace, making the path. He's the pace car here. Because someone's got to do it, even though they're all exhausted. And he's realizing that they need to pick up the pace, and he's taking that responsibility.
That's good.
But remember, they are absolutely exhausted. He hadn't eaten or slept properly in days.
Poor guy.
Mood. And he was really struggling to stay awake and keep up the pace.
Aww.
And the dudes behind him are shouting, like, go faster, Aimo. Don't fall asleep, Aimo. Keep going. That just wasn't...
What losers. You step up and do it.
No, they're trying to encourage him.
Oh. I guess we see my outlook on the human race that I automatically approach this from a pessimistic point of view.
Yeah.
Okay, well, go Aimo. Go faster. Is it Aimo or emo?
It's emo?
Which one? It's Aimo, right? Like
yes. AIMO. Emo?
I couldn't remember. Okay, it's Aimo. Anyways.
Can someone
Go Aimo.
Can someone like take a picture of Aimo and make him look emo for undisclosed purposes? Yes. For the background of our video.
It's just gonna be emo Aimo.
But it makes me so excited just to think about that. Like, just the idea of it. Oh my goodness. All right.
Emo Aimo is taking the lead, but falling asleep.
Uh-huh. So
she's really thrown off by
the tangents that are happening today. But luckily for Aimo, he had the entire unit's supply of Pervitin. So Pervitin, it's a military, or it was a military grade amphetamine. So this was not the regulated amphetamines that we have now. This was not Adderall and Vyvanse and all of those. It was basically meth in a pill.
Right. Because why would it not be?
Because 1940s.
Yikes.
So yeah, it was basically meant for staying awake, decreasing appetite, alertness, better performance, that kind of stuff. And for a little while, it was actually sold over the counter. Don't forget that this is primarily a podcast, so I need audible reactions out of you.
Sorry, guys. Sometimes my only reaction can be facial expressions. What?
Yeah, it
Imagine
was.
your mom walking in and being like, "Hi, honey. Here's your crystal meth. Picked it up at the drugstore for you. Here's a lollipop, too." Like, what?
A crystal meth lollipop?
A crystal meth lollipop. Like, oh my gosh. I love how the Army's just like, we have this really cool substance that somehow manages.
What was that? Someone slammed a door really
loud.
Scared.
I'm scared.
Girl.
Anyways, but like, I love how it's literally like the Army's like, we have meth and it'll keep you awake and that's totally okay. No one saw this as a red flag in the 40s. Love it.
No, and like I said, it was available over the counter. Like, it wasn't just the military. But obviously it ended up having a lot of issues too, like abuse with long-term usage and misuse and all of that. And some of those side effects would be irritability, hallucinations, sleeplessness, and so on. Now, when it was used for military purposes, it was supposed to help the troops stay awake for a couple days when necessary, cover more ground, not have to worry about stopping for food and water, just pretty much only when necessary.
It's like a survival tool.
Exactly.
Got it.
Exactly. Now, most soldiers were really into this because free meth.
Duh.
But Aimo apparently wasn't. He wasn't particularly keen on taking meth.
Good on ya, Aimo.
On taking medications that he didn't need.
Yeah.
But at this point he had to, or probably die.
Yikes.
So he takes the pill bottle out of his coat pocket and he tries to take out a pill. But he's got these big glove/mitten things on, and he can't get out just one. So instead, he takes 30.
Like he takes 30, or like he takes 30 out and swallows one?
Well, he pours out all 30. It's the whole bottle.
Okay.
But instead of putting 29 back, he took all 30.
What?
Yes.
And he's not dead within an hour?
We'll see.
Oh my gosh, safe.
So he couldn't really do much about it because he's tired and frustrated and it's hard to see and he has to keep moving in order to live. And his judgment's probably not 100% since he's been without food and water and sleep for so long.
I'm sorry, but the solution is not 30 pills.
No. I'm saying like he's so sleep deprived that he's probably not making the best decisions. He's probably not.
How sleep deprived do you have to be to think taking 30 pills of meth is appropriate?
Who knows if he even knew that he took 30 because it was like night. He's just knocking them back.
I guess maybe that's... Oh gosh,
I can't tell you.
Gonna end badly.
I cannot tell you why he took 30.
This is gonna end
but
badly.
I can tell you that
he did.
He did, and I can also tell you that it's worse because a safe dose was 1 per day at most.
Oh Lord, not 30 at a time.
Not 30 at a time. He also, so homeboy didn't even have water. He just like ate them.
Just chewing on it like it's a freaking M&M.
I think so. Yeah, he didn't have any water. He took 30 meth pills without any water.
My throat hurts thinking about doing that. Like that thought of trying to swallow 30 pills with nothing. Because he probably has dry mouth too, because he's not freaking hydrated.
Maybe he's got some snow, scooping it up.
Turns it into a snow cone.
Okay.
Maybe not.
Instead of sprinkles,
yeah,
it's got meth pills.
Meth pills.
It's terrible. So
adaptability. Love it, Aimo. You work with what you have.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So it's seeming at this point like he's gonna die either way. Like either
did the other people like know? Did they like? Were they aware? Like, did they have like 911 on speed dial or something? Or did he just like pop it?
He just kind of popped it. He didn't really want people knowing he took it.
So
because
it wasn't
he
like everyone was like,
moral...
Aimo has 30 in his system right now.
I don't think anyone really knew that. They may have seen him take it, but like didn't, to my knowledge, They didn't know that he took 30. And he was kind of against taking this. And I think he didn't really want them to see because he had this like
aversion to it.
Yeah, like moral aversion to this for whatever reason. So...
Dang.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's seeming like he's going to die either way, either at the hands of the Red Army or at the hands of meth. So
what two glorious options to have as a human being?
Yeah.
Looking at death by pill or by Red Army?
Mm-hmm. Which would you choose?
I don't know if I can answer that right now.
Really?
I don't know if I could confidently have an answer.
Seriously?
I'm not kidding. I'm just saying. I just don't know if I could say yet. I want to see what happens to Aimo now in order to make that decision.
Plead the fifth. Which one of those I would do.
Yeah, I'm going to have to side with Rachel as well on this.
No. I'm saying I definitively have an answer.
You're just not revealing it. I don't have an answer because I'd like to know more information.
I know which I would do. So these 30 pills, he took them. And thus began his meth-fueled frenzy. Now, he's starting to feel incredible.
I would imagine.
He's got this renewed energy. He's ready to go. So he's going, and he's going, and he's tripping worse. And now they successfully outrun the Russians. Am I boring you?
No.
She yawned. We are talking meth-fueled frenzy and you're falling asleep.
Apparently I need meth in order to fuel me right now.
I'll see what I can do. All right.
Is that your new side hustle? No. It's no one side hustle.
I mean...
No, I'm not. I'm good.
Money's tight for me. Money's not that tight for me.
Okay, that's good to know. That is good to know. That's a relief.
So, yeah, he's just gone. And they do successfully outrun the Russians, but he soon realizes his mistake. But it's too late. It is much too late.
I'd say.
He starts to get paranoid. He's seeing things, and apparently he's kind of drifting in and out of consciousness, and the trees and the path and everything around him is starting to look weird, understandably.
Makes sense.
So he tried his best to make sure, like I said earlier, that his unit didn't see him take the Pervitin. And by all accounts, they didn't.
Right.
But they noticed that his behavior was off and that he was not doing so hot. So they took away his ammo so he wouldn't do anything dumb.
Nice.
And he, once again, loses consciousness. Yeah, he didn't even know that they took his ammo. That's how, gone he was.
Wow. Hot dang.
So all of a sudden, he wakes up all alone, no ammo, no food, no supplies. Essentially no supplies.
Right.
He's got a backpack and a little pan. But he doesn't know where he is or how he is there or why he got there or even what day it is.
Oh boy.
He continues to drift in and out of consciousness, and it was hard for him to kind of decipher what was real and what wasn't. And would often find himself waking up like in the middle of doing a task or something and just kind of be like, wait, what am I doing? Where am I? What's going on?
When you become self-aware, literally.
Pretty much. It's kind of like when you're driving on autopilot. You get home and you're like, how did I get here?
Like, I don't remember turning left.
How many red lights did I run?
Did. Right, you're like, was that light green? I don't remember.
How many pedestrians
did I graze gently?
Yeah, just
with my bumper.
Just gently graze.
A little love tap.
On the pedestrians. Okay. Yeah, something like that. So there's not much of a timeline here because Mans was absolutely zooted and a lot happened while he was in this state. So he decides he has to try to make his way back to Finland because that's pretty much his only option. He's out here alone. He eventually spots a fire in the distance and he begins discussing with his unit that this must be a German camp.
Yeah, go find the fire.
Yeah, so he rushes to it so he can get some food and the help that he needs. But here's the thing. He was actually alone. He wasn't actually with his unit.
Oh, sweet mercy.
Mm-hmm. He woke up, came to, while falling down a slope.
Oh, even better. This sounds like a goofy, like, cartoon episode.
You know, that's exactly how I pictured it.
Yeah.
Just like,
you know what I mean? He's like sliding down.
There's like the like dust and like little squiggles and stars coming out of it.
Yes.
That's exactly how I pictured it.
Well, that's good to know.
But there was actually a camp.
Oh.
But it wasn't a German camp.
Oh.
It was a Russian camp.
Of course it's a Russian camp.
So he just skis full speed ahead straight into the Russian camp.
Yeah, now all I can picture is Goofy. I can't picture anybody normal, just... I can only see Goofy doing this. So Aimo equals Goofy. There's food for thought.
I have to disagree with that deep philosophical statement you just made.
Food for thought.
Now he realizes his mistake. He realizes that this is a Russian camp. So he just doesn't slow down. He just keeps going as fast as he can so that he can escape. Which he does.
Oh.
Because they're just so surprised and confused. Some of them tried to get to him, but more than anything, they're just like, what is happening?
This madman is
so they just
flying through our camp right now.
Yeah, like they were just stunned. So they didn't know what to do, and he made it out alive. The chase went on for like an hour, but he lost them in the snowstorm, and he got out completely unscathed.
Oh, mercy.
Mostly due to their surprise and confusion.
Right.
So he's past that. He's good, but he's still trying to make his way back to Finland. For a while, he's just surviving on pine buds and water.
Oh.
And the water's usually melted snow. He then made a fire and treated himself to some pine bud tea after escaping the Russian camp. No. Treat yourself.
No.
Treat yourself to pine bud tea.
Tom Haverford would be ashamed
snow
of this treat yourself.
Yeah, well, I mean, Tom Haverford would be ashamed of most things. So
would he? I feel like that man has no shame.
Well, he doesn't have any shame about his very specific high-end taste, even if it's poor taste sometimes.
Right.
But it's very specific.
That's fair. All right. Anyways.
So he's ashamed of most thread counts on sheets. You don't think he would be ashamed by like making tea out of water from melted snow?
Oh yeah, no, he definitely would.
He would be ashamed. So after a while, he spots something in the distance. It's a pair of eyes.
Oh.
Glistening. He soon finds out that these eyes belong to a wolverine that is approaching him.
Wolverines are real?
Yes.
Oh.
Not like...
Well, I know... That's what I was saying. Like, I figured it wasn't like Hugh Jackman.
Would you like to see a wolverine? It kind of looks like a wolf and a bear.
What the? These are real?
Yes.
It's a stocky, muscular animal. That is the ugliest looking thing I've ever seen. It does not know what it is. Okay, but it's real. So Wolverine.
It's a wolf bear.
It's a wolf. The wolf bear is looking at Aimo.
Yeah, so this wolverine is approaching him. So obviously, being in the wilderness by yourself, you might run into some things like that.
Fair.
So he takes out his knife as the Wolverine jumps at him. He lunges forward, only to wake up.
So no Wolverine.
There was no Wolverine. There was only a tree.
Oh.
Which he has now just punched.
Oh. No knife. So literally just
There
his
was
hand.
no knife. There was no knife. But there was a compass in his hand, which he has now broken because he punched the tree so hard with the compass in his hand.
And he's not dead yet.
He's not dead yet.
Okay.
Not dead yet.
Okay.
So at one point, he randomly comes across an old friend.
Oh.
Yeah.
Hey, buddy. I'm just fixing my bun. Continue.
Oh, wait.
Oh, I'm not doing nothing. Keep talking about Aimo.
Okay, fine.
Keep talking
Aimo. So he has come to find his friend in the wilderness who was also, unfortunately, alone. And they rest and talk for a while. And the friend points out that they should get on the move again.
Right.
Start covering some more ground, all that. So they do. But then Aimo comes too.
Oh.
He is now missing his backpack, his gun, and his cooking pot.
He didn't have ammo in the gun, though, so, who cares?
He didn't.
But I guess you could have whacked something.
You can whack someone with it. You can, take the butt of the gun.
Barter it. You could charge or exchange it with someone that he found for some food or some more meth.
You can also, exchange it for some meth. That took a second. Use the butt of the gun and, jam it like that.
Yeah.
That can,
right.
crack a skull.
But now it's gone, so.
But now it's gone, along with his backpack and his cooking pot. So that also means no more pine bud tea.
Oh, no.
Yeah, not great.
That's sad.
It is. But then about a day later, he comes across an abandoned cabin. And this is great because he desperately needs shelter, and he finally has it. So he found some firewood, and he built a fire, and things were finally starting to look up for Aimo.
Yay, Aimo.
Unfortunately, he didn't build the fire in the fireplace.
At this point, it's starting to get a little pathetic, but I understand why.
Oh my gosh.
It's just more I just want to help him. I want to help him because he's high.
You just transformed into Alexis Rose 100%.
I told you I do that sometimes.
That was scary.
Anyways, but I don't mean pathetic. I'm not saying pathetic because he's he should know better. He doesn't know better. It's deserving of sympathy. It's pathetic. Oh, poor buddy. I just want to give him a hug.
Well, you know what almost did give him a hug?
The Wolverine?
The fire.
Oh,
because
boy.
He, instead of building the fire in the fireplace... Excuse you?
We can't even find peace in our own studio.
Someone's got a honk.
The nerve.
While I'm talking, I don't even remember what I was saying.
The fire.
The fire. Yes, because he didn't build it in the fireplace. He instead built it on the wood floor.
Oh.
Yeah.
And wood catches on fire.
It does. I'm really proud of you. Thanks. Good job. Thanks. Good job for knowing that one. Now he finds a can to melt some snow in.
Okay.
And he doesn't really seem to think anything of it, that this fire's in the middle of the floor. So as the floor burned, he would just kind of scoot away.
Oh.
A little bit from the flames.
What is that?
As the fire would scoot closer and closer.
Fire.
Fire.
Excuse me, Mr. Fire. I was sitting there.
So he wants to build this fire so that he can have some warmth and sleep next to it and not be freezing cold. He doesn't really sleep though because, meth. Which is good.
He's sitting there in the corner
eyes bugging out of his head. Yeah.
Literally big eyes.
Shaking. But it's good that he didn't fall asleep because as the cabin started to burn more and more, it collapsed and he was able to escape.
That's good.
Had a couple extra seconds of warning time there because he wasn't in a deep sleep.
Right.
So obviously he escapes the cabin. He's got to leave that behind. But just down yonder, right near the cabin, it was, part of the property. There's a furnace.
Oh.
Yeah, which is awesome.
How sweet.
So he lights another fire in there and falls asleep next to it.
Where's the butt? Or the however?
There's no butt. There's no butt on that one.
Wakes up.
There's no butt on that one. Who knows how long he slept?
Okay.
Who knows how long the fire stayed there? But then he had a series of further adventures. He chased the North Star for a while, thinking that it was a light coming from a window. There was no window. He was just heading north. A bunch of stuff like that. It went on for a long time, and there's probably a lot of things that we don't know about because Mans was zoinked. I'm just going to use a new word every time.
We've got zooted and zoinked.
I don't know what else there is, but we'll see what happens. So finally, he comes across a German outpost, and there's ski tracks in the snow leading up to it.
Okay, good.
So he's got a path.
Good.
And, this is...
Signs of life.
Signs of life and...
hope. Safety, rescue.
What's the opposite of enemy?
Ally?
Thank you. Could I come up with the word ally? My mind went absolutely blank for a second. There were no thoughts behind these eyes. So...
Much like Aimo.
Yeah, and his pupils were massive, so you could really tell what was behind those eyes. He sees that there's an ally camp here. Finally some hope.
Right.
Again. But this time, he's not just approaching a random camp. Like, this is obviously a German camp.
Mm-hmm.
So he sees this German outpost and the ski tracks leading up to it, and he calls out as he approaches it. What's your name?
Tony.
Although, unfortunately, there was no Tony.
Oh.
It had actually been abandoned. And as soon as he stepped foot near it, he set off a landmine.
Of course he did.
Mm-hmm.
Of course he sets off a landmine.
He did. He set off a landmine.
And he doesn't die? We're not dead yet.
We're not dead yet.
We're not dead.
We're not dead yet. But his left foot and leg are all but blown off.
Oh.
I keep making a lot of gestures with my hands. All right? Now, before we did video, I would podcast standing up. So I'm used to taking up space and having a lot of energy. But my wrist keeps cracking. So if you're hearing a weird little snap, crackle, and popping, it's my wrist. Nothing to worry about, though. So his foot and leg are pretty much all blown off.
Yum.
His skin is ripped up. The bone is protruding.
Oh, gosh.
But what do you do when you're gravely injured and have an insane amount of meth in your body?
You feel literally no pain.
You don't care. You just say, oh, well.
Oh, it's gone.
Time to keep going.
Time to just keep
swimming. You missed that one. It was right in front of you.
It was right there and I missed it.
So he kind of hobbled and, really more crawled his way to a German dugout that was nearby.
Yum.
He opened the door and he was met with a blinding light.
He set off another one, didn't he?
He did.
Okay. This poor guy.
This door was also booby-trapped. It was rigged with explosives, which Aimo set off. He landed 30 meters away.
And we're not dead. We're
not dead. We're not dead yet. So now he's injured even more. His clothes are barely hanging on his body because they have been ripped to shreds, and so has he.
That was good. It was good.
Okay.
I was just touched your foot. I'm sorry about
that.
It's okay. Like, oopsies.
I didn't even get to finish my sentence. Sorry. And he's still holding the doorknob.
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
You're not kidding.
I'm not kidding.
It's getting to the point of comical.
Yeah. It was
comical from the beginning.
The more I tell you, the more it seems like a cartoon, right?
It is.
All of it seems like exactly what would happen on...
How do you still have the doorknob?
He was holding on to it. The blast
quite a grip.
tore the door.
Quite a grip he had. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, he's got so much meth in him. It's a wonder he didn't crush the doorknob,
Yeah, to be honest. That's fair.
So he's pretty much knocking on death's door now.
Knock, knock, knocking on heaven's door.
As if he hadn't been knocking on death's door this whole time.
Right.
And now he rips off part of his shirt to bandage his foot. He makes another fire. This time it's outside.
Him and fire don't seem to go well together.
What do you want him to do? Die of hypothermia?
I don't know. He's going to die of something else, right? I mean, surely,
if this freaking keeps up, yeah. So he crawls into a ditch. He lays down.
Please tell me there's not a booby trap in the ditch.
He goes to sleep.
Actually?
By all accounts, either he was either asleep or unconscious or something.
Okay.
Unsure of whether or not he will ever wake up again.
That's how I feel sometimes when I take naps.
So, at some point in time, who knows how long it was, probably a couple days later, a group of Finnish soldiers passed through. Finally.
Real Finnish?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. He had heard gunshots and thought it was Russians and was prepared to die. And then he heard them speaking the Finnish language. So he called out for help. And of course, they were surprised by what they saw.
That's an understatement.
Yes. And he begged them for help. He was relieved and surprised to see that he was finally going to be saved.
Hallelujah.
What are you doing?
I'm looking at something.
I need your active participation.
Auta! That's how you say help in Finnish. Okay. Auta me. I think it's how you say that.
Auta.
I blew out your eardrum again. Nobody yell at me.
I'm gonna lose my hearing so young because of you.
Auta.
Are you done? Are you finished?
I closed out of the tab.
Are you finished?
Am I finished? Auta. Yes, I'm finished. Sorry, Mom.
Did you just call me Mom?
I said sorry, Mom.
I'm not ready for that responsibility.
Nobody is. I don't think my current
where
mom
did
is.
we...
No, nobody wants to mother.
Are you gonna leave that in?
Oh yeah, that's funny.
So, where did I leave
The
off?
Finnish soldiers come,
Yes.
and they're surprised to see
Yes.
Aimo.
So, and he begged them for help, and he was relieved and surprised and all that. I just cracked my wrist again. But here's the thing.
They weren't real.
Well, we think they were.
Okay.
But they had to get their sergeant, who had also just stepped on a landmine, to safety. But they promised that they would be back for him.
Why is everybody stepping on landmines? I mean, I know you can't see them, but like, why?
Because it's war.
Why are they doing
And
that?
they set up landmines so that people step on them.
But why you gotta step on them?
This is massively insensitive. My goodness, you are in an interesting headspace today.
The easiest way to resolve all of this is don't take meth and don't step on landmines.
There go my weekend plans. Well,
so the sergeant has to get back to camp.
Yes, and he attempted to argue, like, take me with you, someone stay with me, that kind of thing, to no avail. They left. And he was convinced that he would never see them again. And he thought maybe he had even hallucinated the whole thing, so he's not even really sure.
Sure.
But it seems very different than a lot of his other hallucinations.
True.
Now, he is unsure if he is going to be killed by the elements, his injuries, or the Russians at this point, or possibly be saved. But he had no choice but to just wait. So eventually, while he's just hanging out there, laying down, he sees a Siberian jay.
A little bird.
A little bird.
A little birdie.
Yeah.
She almost did it.
The disappointment in my voice. It, like, both at you saying it and then at me almost saying it back. Now, with what little energy he has left, he lifts up his ski pole and brings it crashing down on the bird and kills it.
Bang!
Which is, like, really impressive.
Yeah. I could not do that sober.
That's what I'm saying. He's doing it laying down.
High. With no limb.
Well, with at least one limb that's, like, shredded. It's still there,
okay,
but
yeah.
it's, like,
shredded limbs.
Shredded.
Like shredded chicken, but just shredded limbs.
Yeah, I guess. I guess I'll allow it because I don't have any fight left in me after this conversation that I'm having with you. So, yeah, okay.
So
I
shredded
just need
chicken.
a second. I just need a second.
No, you're good.
Yeah, of course. You have to allow me a second because this is because of you. You exhaust me.
I shredded her chicken. That sounds weird.
It sounds like a euphemism. I don't like it.
I know. That was my reaction. I was like, I didn't like this.
I'm so tired.
I am literally, Rachel, I'm so dead.
No, I'm tired of this. Like, you are making me weary.
Okay, so I'm going to keep my mouth shut for the rest of the episode.
What?
Go.
Huh?
I'm going to keep my mouth shut for the rest of the episode.
Well, I mean, don't do that.
Continue.
I mean, still
Continue.
participate. Where was it? So somehow he managed to do this while completely hopped up on meth. So what he does with his dead bird is he plucks off most of the feathers, and then he just ate it raw.
Disgusting. I hate that.
Well, he thought it was the best thing he had ever eaten.
He has low expectations at this point.
Yeah, because he's been without food for who knows how long.
Andy's high.
Yeah, high out of his mind. Well, a few days after that, the Finns actually did come back.
Oh.
Or some Finnish soldiers did. May not have been the exact same ones. Some people say that it was the same group. Some people say that he somehow flagged down a German reconnaissance plane who then alerted a nearby group who had been searching for Aimo ever since they had lost him to the meth. So he was rescued and he got the medical care that he needed in a field hospital, finally. So here's that was
Yay, Aimo.
Yay, Aimo.
Yay.
Are you surprised that he was actually rescued?
Yes. I'm still waiting for and then he woke up.
The other shoe to drop?
Yeah.
Well, here's what went down. In the hospital, they found that his heart rate was 200 beats per minute.
Yep. Makes sense. Yep.
And he weighed 94 pounds or 43 kilograms.
I think I weighed that much as like a 2-year-old. I'm just kidding. I'm being dramatic.
2-year-old.
Definitely kidding.
He had been gone for 2 weeks and covered more than 250 miles.
And yet he didn't make it back to Finland?
Or 400 kilometers. Well, he was so high, he didn't know where he was going.
Where's our man going?
And who knows?
And he don't know.
If he was 250 miles away from where he started...
Maybe he wasn't. Maybe just going in circles.
Right. Well, but he was 250 miles away from where he had started. So he had probably actually covered like 500 miles. He was probably zigzagging all over the place.
Oh my gosh.
Well, but here's the thing. If his heart rate was 200 beats per minute.
2 weeks?
2 weeks after?
Oh my gosh.
What was his heart rate? Like right after taking all that Pervitin.
Literally
hours later. Or
you know when the cartoons, the heart pops out of their chest? Like that's what I'm envisioning right now.
Like it must have been way higher.
Jeez.
But like, how do you survive that? I genuinely think, like, okay, I take a prescribed amphetamine for ADHD. Mm-hmm. It's very different amphetamine. It's not addictive meth. Like this. It's certainly, it's not meth. I think if I accidentally doubled my dose, like if I accidentally took 2 pills in one day, I think that would put me in the hospital.
Dang.
30.
Jeez, Aimo.
30.
You defy all odds.
So this ended up being the first documented case of a soldier overdosing on methamphetamines.
The first?
Mm-hmm.
There was no other case of that.
What was that?
Peacock was telling me 5 movies they think I'll love.
It's important.
What were you saying? I love them.
You're surprised
this is the first one that's like documented? Mm-hmm. I'm sure things have happened.
Also,
but
this kind of was one. This was something that was kind of rising in popularity. It was
hot dang.
Yeah. But he did survive. There's
there's
no other shoe that's going to drop. He did eventually get rescued.
Happy ending for Aimo.
Yeah. That's why when you asked me, is this a happy episode? Right. I was like,
at some point it will be.
Ooh, no comment. Now get this.
Okay.
He ultimately lived a longer life than anyone would expect after this whole ordeal. And he died at the age of 71.
What?
Yes.
I was expecting like 45.
I know, because it's like, yes, he survived this whole thing, but you think that would really take a toll on him physically, mentally, emotionally, everything. No, 71 isn't like that old, but it was also, he had all of those compounding things on top of it, and it was way back in the day.
The odds are very much in his favor. Yeah. Because hot dang.
If you can survive that, you can survive anything.
Literally.
Yeah. And he did for quite some time.
For 71 years, some might say.
Some might.
Some might.
Some might say that.
Wow. I'm kind of mind blown by this. If I don't live to 71, I think I'm going to be a little angry now. Be like, Aimo could do it. Why can't I?
That's a good takeaway from today's episode.
At least live to your 71.
Live at least as long as Aimo.
If Aimo can do it, you can do it. That's the lesson.
Yeah. Well, you know what that doesn't apply to, though?
Is taking crystal meth. Taking 30 pills of crystal meth. That definitely does not apply.
I don't think it was crystal meth.
That's true. Just meth.
How about we just say don't use any kinds of meth?
Yeah. Or drugs.
We're good with that. Okay.
Yeah.
Two good takeaways from today's episode.
Okay.
Don't do drugs and live at least as long as Aimo.
Huzzah.
How are you feeling after that, Maddie?
Wow, I feel like you took me on a roller coaster ride there, Rach. Like,
well, I took you on an adventure through the wilderness.
Well, that's true. On skis.
On skis.
In World War II.
Yeah.
Well,
good times.
This was something I had no knowledge of. Very enlightening.
I did it.
I feel as though I have to go decompress now. Do a little soul searching.
You want to go skiing?
Yeah. Let's do
right
it.
now.
Let's do it. It's a great idea.
In the middle of summer?
In the middle of summer.
So here's the thing. I kind of made an executive decision on something and didn't tell you.
Oh.
It's minor.
Okay.
It's okay. It's okay.
Give it to me.
It's okay. It's going to be okay.
Okay.
We did this in the past, but it's been a couple of months, but we're going to do it again for the month of July.
Ooh.
And that is if you write a review of HYPERFOCUS, we will send you a free HYPERFOCUS sticker.
Yes.
So all you have to do is write a review, take a screenshot of your review, and send that screenshot to us along with your address of where you would like the sticker sent.
Mm-hmm.
And we will send you a little handwritten note and a HYPERFOCUS sticker.
Yeah.
But
They're
only,
cool stickers.
only for the month of July because we only have so many left.
How do you do the thing you know what I'm talking about?
What? Why are we shimmying?
Just because I was like, ooh.
Stickers.
Ooh.
Also, fair warning, I'm very slow at getting them out, but they will get to you eventually.
I'll be on top of it.
Oh, okay. All right.
I'll help.
I hope so.
We're good.
Because I'm almost out of stamps.
So, review, send us an email.
Email or Instagram DM.
Message,
Yeah, something like that.
And with address and a screenshot of your review.
Yep. Would highly suggest that if you're going to do this, you write a positive review. I wouldn't suggest sending us a negative review and your address. It's not a threat, but I mean,
we'll just leave that there.
Yeah.
We'll just leave it
Yeah,
out
we'll
there.
just say that.
That's on you. But where else can they find us?
Well, Maddie, they can find us on Instagram,
At HyperFocus Pod.
TikTok,
Also at HyperFocus Pod.
Twitter,
HyperFocus_pod.
Facebook, and YouTube.
HyperFocus: a podcast for chaotic minds.
And send us an email.
At hyperfocuscast@gmail.com. That's hyperfocuscast@gmail.com.
That's correct. Whoa. Just hit something, and that was my natural reaction. Send us love letters, not hate mail.
Get that out of here.
Well, you can send me hate mail if it is in a PDF, size 12-point font, Times New Roman. I was going to say MLA, but I'm actually going to say Turabian.
Oh.
That's the only way we will accept.
Not
hate mail.
APA. APA is brutal. APA,
Don't you dare.
APA is so much harder than Chicago.
APA is the easiest one there is. Don't you dare.
Okay.
I will
We
not
will agree to
tolerate
disagree here.
any APA slander on this podcast.
We will agree to disagree.
No,
Yep.
we won't. I disagree to disagree. All right?
She's
APA
decided
forever.
to be confrontational
APA
today.
forever.
Well, there you have it then. I don't know what else to say there.
Good. But yes, love letters, topic ideas, midnight ravings. Your dog shaking violently in front of our mics. Whatever it
So
is that you want to
aggressive.
email us about. All right.
Short stories.
I don't know where to go from here, so let's just end it. Thank you for listening.
We appreciate you, and we'll see you next week.
Stay chaotic, babes. Stay sober, too.
Hey, you! What's your name?
Tony!
You, Tony!
What's your name?
Ezekiel!
You, Ezekiel!
Yep. Yep.
How many people is that going to make sense to?
Probably like 7.
A good,
No, I
a
just
good
feel like
number of
it'll be a
our
lot.
listeners found us on TikTok, so
We'll just
Maybe.
have to see. Maybe that goes at the end. Who knows?
maybe. I don't know. I like it.